we were overrun right 2 weeks before they signed the armistice with 6 divisions of Chinese, because our crew, I was actually assigned to the 5th, what they call the 5th Regimental Combat Team, and they just used us to plug holes and support anybody we could, and so they moved us away from them and moved us in to support Royal Republic of Korea Division, and we moved in one day and they overran them the next day. And at that time they said there were 6 divisions of Chinese. They were trying to get a push through the Republic of Korea forces to get back to Seoul. That's what they were after. And they pushed us back about, I don't know, we were pushed back maybe, I think 5 to 10 miles, and they brought the 3rd Infantry Division in real quick to stop it.
Right here you'll see the OH-13E observation helicopter. It's basically a very, very older, well, it's about roughly around your time period.
Yeah.
Version of, our new version of the OH-6 Little Bird, predominantly used for overwatch and things like that, air assault, airborne stuff. Here's the Huey, I'm pretty sure you're familiar with, I'm pretty sure everyone in the world's familiar with.
Yeah.
This one does the medical transport version of it.
I think the first cab was overrun in 50 or 51. It was right when the UN got into the Korean War that they surprised everybody, and our battalion was down there in the same time frame. Our division, our battalion was actually overrun twice. Once back in the early 50s, and then the last big battle of the Korean War in 54. July the 14th, 1953, rather, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I've always, like, it's crazy to think of, like, the generations before me, like what you guys went through.
Yeah.
Like, that must have been something like being that cold and like that kind of place.
We were just laughing. Somewhere we saw a Jeep, and since I was in communications, and I was a communications sergeant, we were stationed in a motor pool, so if I'm on the Jeep for anything, I just go to the motor pool sergeant and tell him I'm on the Jeep in Korea. And so I went in there in the middle of the winter, got the Jeep, and you could either go on a bridge and go across, or you could go down below and ford across. Well, of course, still would be, I said, no, I'll go down below. And I did. And the next morning, old motor pool sergeant came back to me and he said, "Crookshanks, where did you go with that Jeep yesterday?" He said, "You've been in water." I said, "Yeah, we were." He said, "The transmission, you're supposed to plug it if you're going to ford it," and I didn't know about that. And that transmission was solid water, frozen solid.
Jeez.
They had to take the whole transmission out of that thing and thaw it out and drain the water out of it. And he said, "Don't do that again."
Yes, he celebrated his 20th birthday in Korea.
That's a lot.
And I said, there, people say, "Where were you in Korea?" All I know is I was in Korea. But when I look at a map now that tells you what some of the areas were called, I actually went in to the Punch Bowl on the East Coast, and we were actually almost over to the west side when we got overrun there in 54, 53, late 53.
There's the Calvary Fight Station.
You guys were something. You guys are some tough guys.
I don't know what
This one? This one is the M1 Abrams.
oh, that's new.
Yeah, this is more modern. This is so that's more commonly used nowadays. Well, different models on it. Oh, this is the M1E1 Abrams.
Yes.
Right now we use the M1E1.
The one thing I remember about being here is there was a butte out here somewhere, and we were out there on maneuvers, and there was one little trail that went up around the butte to get up on top, and we got up there, and two of supposedly the enemy tanks, so to speak, were sitting up there waiting for us, and yet our gunners, our tanks didn't see them. But I drove around in a Jeep, and I called it the tank guys, and I said, "Hey, there's two tanks sitting right there waiting for you. And they turned around finally and they fired them and got them first. So.
Do you want to go right or left? Right takes us more to the...
Yeah, let's go to the right. I want to see. It may not be the same, but that looks more like the armored personnel carrier that I remember in 55 being here. I don't even know if that is an armored. Oh, it'll pull over. Push it.
Him too, husband.
Just a big 20 millimeter Gatling gun mounted to the front of it. That's
Oh my
so,
Lord.
It's so beautiful.
Yes. They come out of there so fast.
Just sounds like a really loud pump.
Yeah.
Oh.
They're actually,
Yeah, that thing's on tracks. I only remember ours being on tracks. 55.
Oh, this thing's so beautiful. Every time I drive by, I just kind of stare at it.
Said I want one of those.
I want one, yeah. I wish I could drive one of those. I'm not.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I don't think I'm qualified. I don't even want to drive. I want to shoot it.
There you go. There you go. It can
Yeah,
sit
heck with the
still. I
driving.
don't
Just get it where I
care.
can fire it.
Just tell me how to point it.
There you go.
That's all I really need. This is just one of the normal Humvees that we use nowadays.
Okay.
Slowly getting rid of them, getting better, bigger and better things.
Yeah. Constantly.
That looks familiar. I don't know how old that's supposed to be, but ours looked a lot like that.
So yours look like that?
Yeah, that's.
Yep, we still roll those.
Do you hear that?
We're actually working on one of those right
Yeah.
Do you hear that, Bryant?
51 to, or no, 91.
91 to 96.
Yeah.
Well,
Similar.
that back in
Similar.
50, back in 54 and 55 looked a lot like that, the one that we were in.
Well, these ones are the A2, so maybe you were in the A1
Yeah.
Okay.
or the original just A1.
Yeah.
Probably.
You're a pretty interesting time period.
Yeah.
You're in the in between.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, between all the innovations between World War II and Vietnam,
Yeah.
the Korean War period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But the stories that I read about and hear about from you guys are all insane. Dude fighting off like a full platoon of North Koreans and Chinese with
Yeah.
just his rifle and his underwear and a shirt.
Yeah.
He didn't realize how cold he was until he looked down at his fingers and saw they were different colors.
Oh.
Well, the thing that sort of got to us when we were over, I was in the artillery, and they had just moved our field artillery battalion to support this Republic of Korea division. And so we didn't carry any ammunition, any on our self-ammunition. We had carbines, 115 round clip. That's what we had.
That
And
probably wasn't the best idea.
and they hit the firing batteries first. So an officer came around and grabbed all of our clips and run them down to the firing batteries. So they had at least a little bit of firing power down there on their hand. But I was on radio duty that night, and they called up and they said, as far as we can see, all we see are Chinese coming towards us.
That probably wasn't the funnest sight.
They are solid. Well, out of our whole battalion, we got out with maybe 50 guys. I don't think we even had 50 guys left in that north. But the 3rd Division came up real quick. They got it moved up real quick, and it stopped them. They gained about 5 or 6 miles on us, and they got the 3rd Division up there real fast and stopped them.
Thing with us American infantry guys, there's a point where we just, they're gonna stop here.
Yep. Well, that was it. 3rd Infantry Division came up there, and they said they're not going any farther. because the 2nd Infantry Division was already up there, but they had been shifted over a little bit, where the way the Chinese were coming, they were coming down through us, and not over directly toward the 2nd Infantry Division.
Yeah, so they kind of like scooped around the side.
Yeah, and so that's when they brought the 3rd Division up and blocked them off in.
That's when it was raining so bad.
It rained for 3 straight days. We could get no air support at all because of the rain. And it was, I said the one thing I always remember. I woke up we got up on the 3rd day, and it was a clear sky, and all you could hear was planes coming over land. And you talk about a lot of cheering and all going on.
Yeah. That must have been something that really, really good experience.
Here in this
Well, we were sitting beside the road. Wasn't a paved road, a dirt road.
Yeah.
About right up like this. And on the other side was wide open fields, and they had brought every brand of artillery they had and set it hub to hub in there. And they would fire what they called time on targets, get everybody there at the same time. And you couldn't see, it was just like it turned night almost after they had all fired. I mean, there was so much smoke, or I guess they call it cordite or something. But there was so much of that, you couldn't see anything.
Sounds beautiful.
But, oh. We got a day, we were not sure what was going to happen to us because we were down in the valley, so we understood that the 3rd Division was going to come in there and stop them. And so we were sitting right behind the mountains where the 3rd Division stopped.
Babe, all I gotta do is go in there and with a stern face and say, I made this.
But it was a different time of life.
Yeah.
I said, heck, I was in my early 20s. Well, like she said, I celebrated my 20th birthday fighting in Korea. So all that didn't mean anything exactly at the time. You're thinking about getting your butt out of there the best you can.
It's one way to celebrate your birthday.
I'm sorry?
It's one way to celebrate your birthday.
Yeah, isn't it though? Fighting the North Koreans and Chinese on their 20th birthday.
That's a
Can you remember that?